And I'm noticing that someone called Aaron in Illinois, which is one of the states of the United States, feels, according to what Aaron said to the call screeners, fully justified in his belief in God because apparently the Bible is a reliable source of truth. Welcome, Aaron. You are on
Hi.
Talk Heathen.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
I am superb. How are you?
Awesome. I'm blessed,
Excellent.
man. I'm blessed.
Well, there we go. So did the call screener understand correctly? You are feeling as though you feel fully justified in your belief in God because you feel the Bible is a reliable source of truth.
Yeah, so a testimony is justification for a belief, correct?
Well, it depends. And
Well, no.
Well, what is a testimony?
Is a testimony... Okay, so don't we use testimony in court?
Reliable testimony. We use reliable testimony in court, yeah.
No, I totally agree. You use reliable testimony, and testimony stands, and that's justification, right, for a belief?
If it's reliable testimony, yeah.
Well, whose opinion is it? Is it your opinion if it's reliable, or is it objective truth?
I'm guessing when you talk about testimony, let's cut to the chase here because we're adults. I'm guessing when you say testimony, you mean the Bible. And so my question would be, how do you know that the Bible is reliable testimony that we should all base our lives and decisions on?
Yeah. So again, the Bible, and not even the Bible, but all around the world, there's testimonies and witnesses of God working in our world. Again, we do use testimony.
There's evidence from lots of different gods. People, for every single religion there are people saying, for every single religion there's people saying, I have testimony and evidence of my God or gods, performing their magic. How do we know which ones are the reliable ones? Because they can't all be true, can they? So only one at most can be reliable.
Yeah, and you most definitely cannot just ball every religion up into one and say, well, because these are wrong, that one's wrong too, right?
So the one true religion is Shinto.
Yeah.
Is what?
Is Shinto. We've established that the one true religion is Shinto because there is testimony from people who believe in Shinto that it's the one true religion, and theirs is reliable testimony, so we can accept Shintoism.
So therefore Christianity is
okay, and then that meets up with your reality, right?
Pardon?
And that meets up with reality, right? Or no?
Well, you're telling us it doesn't matter whether it meets up with reality or not. You're telling us it matters about the testimony. So if someone tells us they have testimony that a religion, could be any religion, is the one true religion and they're being spoken to by God, we can base our life decisions on what they're telling us according to your logic.
Well, no, according to your logic, you're saying that testimony is only reliable if you decide it's reliable.
No, I'm not. Again, I'm saying that's not what we've said. It would be really helpful if you don't put words in our mouth.
So you were saying that your testimony is reliable.
In my mouth either, see?
So you were saying that your testimony is reliable, and then the people from
yes, the Bible,
Judaism, they're saying their testimony is reliable, and the people from Islam, they're saying their testimony is reliable. So which one are me and Lloyd supposed to take as the reliable one? How do we pick which one is the reliable one?
Well, we all discern things, don't we?
Yeah, and I've just discerned that maybe someone else's religion is more reliable. So how do we know? Like, there's got to be a way to decide. Otherwise, we're all just having an opinion and then it's worthless.
Yeah.
So it's your opinion.
To test all things, right? Does God's word not say to test all things? So if you put, all these other religions to the test of reality, and in our reality, you should be able to discern between truth and falsity, right?
How many religions have you put to the test? Have you tested all religions that have ever existed in all of time?
Have I tested every religion? No, I don't even know every single religion. I do know.
Well, that's interesting.
Christianity. That's all I'm here to represent. I don't care.
Anyway, I think Katie and I have made our point, which you haven't really answered about, how do we decide which religion gets to? How do we decide? How do we decide?
What I'm getting at is.
Oh, good God. Okay, so the point that we've made is, how do we decide which religion offers reliable testimony? You haven't really answered that. Let's just presuppose for a moment that Christianity is the only proposition that we should think about, which is not something we accept, but let's presuppose that. On what basis are you telling us, because you used the words God's word before, so what's your basis for saying that the Bible is God's word?
Well, again, justification for a belief, philosophically, all you need is justification to believe in something, right? I mean, I don't need your permission to believe in this, nor do you need my permission.
No, you don't. You don't need your permission to believe in whatever you want. But when it comes to persuading us,
because you're believing in a testimony, right? I mean,
okay.
It sounds to me like you're trying to. When you call in and say, I have a justified belief in Christianity, that to me sounds like you're saying, I have some kind of evidence or some kind of solid reasoning. But it sounds to me like you're trying to play a little bit of a word game with justified belief and trying to make it sound like all beliefs are justified if there's just some kind of reasoning. So, what are you meaning here by justified? Like, could you actually convince us of your belief? Do you think there's good enough evidence that that's the case, or are you just trying to say that every religious belief is justified to some extent?
No, I would hope that you were, I'm listening to you, and I would hope you wouldn't continue to put words in my mouth. Let's start back from the very beginning. I know you're going all over the place, but what I'm trying to say is a belief not justified through testimony?
And I think you're ignoring what we said right at the beginning, which is taking.
I understand what you're trying to say.
So I'm going to mute you now because you're talking over me. So right at the beginning, you started pushing this whole idea of testimony, and right at the beginning of this conversation, I said it depends whether it's reliable testimony. And what you're doing is you're completely bypassing that need for it to be reliable testimony, and you're just saying no. All we need is testimony. That's all we need. So how are you hoping that we have a productive, meaningful discussion if you're just going to ignore what me and Katie are saying and just barrel ahead with what you wanted to say? It's interesting that you gave the name Preacher Man. I definitely feel like I'm being preached to rather than having an actual dialogue.
Okay.
So how do we move forward? You don't know.
Am I unmuted? I don't know.
You're unmuted now because you were talking over me. Yeah. Oh. So how do we move forward?
Okay. So based on what you just said, with your muting and stuff, I would also hope that you would respect me. And if I'm talking, let me finish my entire collective thought.
You earn respect. You earn respect, and you don't earn respect by completely ignoring what someone's saying to you.
You're talking over me again. I haven't even gotten to my point, and this is how disrespectful you are. So
I'm asking you to get to your point.
Look, we can have a very good conversation, and you can let me, make my point, or you can keep interrupting and not listen. I mean, that's up to you. And I've got other things to do. I can go play with my kids. I can, go to the cookout.
I think you should play with your kids. I think you should, but please do call in again when you're able to actually present your arguments logically. And spoiler alert, simply calling something testimony doesn't mean that we have to listen to it.
You don't even understand that it's belief, right? You're justified.
Oops, I think I might have dropped that caller. Yeah, sorry about that, viewers.